The school hallway smelled of chalk and rain. It was early morning, and sunlight spilled through the windows in long, golden lines. Students rushed in, laughing and dragging backpacks across the floor. Among them, an old janitor quietly pushed his cart, a small radio playing faint country music. His name was Mr. Reed. He had been at Maple High School for almost 10 years. No one really noticed him except when a trash bin overflowed or a light flickered. He moved with slow precision, like someone who respected silence. Every morning, he polished the hallway floors until they gleamed, then stood by the main door to open it for students who came in late. Most kids thought he was just another janitor with no story. But there was one student who looked a little closer, a 16-year-old named Ethan Miller. Ethan often came to school early because home never felt peaceful. He would see Mr. Reed sweeping and sometimes nodded a quiet good morning. Mr. Reed always replied the same way, "Good morning, son. Make today count." One day, Ethan was walking past the cafeteria when he noticed Mr. Reed talking softly with the lunch lady. He slipped a folded envelope into her hand. She smiled but said nothing. Later that week, Ethan heard that a student who could not afford lunch suddenly had meals paid for by an anonymous donor. Ethan had a feeling he knew who it was. The weeks rolled by. Mr. Reed kept doing his quiet work, fixing leaky faucets, replacing light bulbs, and sometimes leaving small, encouraging notes taped to lockers. "You did your best today," or "Keep going, it matters." No one ever saw him do it. No one ever asked why. Then came the annual Teacher Appreciation Day. Students brought flowers and cards for their teachers. Mr. Reed continued to mop the hallway as the assembly took place. When he opened the back door to collect trash, he overheard a few students laughing. One said, "Can you imagine being a janitor your whole life? You probably didn't even finish school." Another added, "I'd rather quit than end up like that." They laughed and walked away. That night, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about it. He decided to thank Mr. Reed the next morning. But when he got to school, the janitor was not there. Instead, a substitute was cleaning the hallway. Ethan asked, "Where's Mr. Reed?" The new man replied, "He took some days off. Said he's visiting family." That day felt different. The hallway was clean, but empty of warmth. During lunch, Ethan walked into the principal's office with a question burning inside him. "Sir, do you know anything about Mr. Reed? He's been helping people quietly for years." The principal smiled faintly and said, "Son, you'd be surprised if you knew who he really is." He pulled out an old newspaper clipping from a drawer. The headline read, "Local teacher fired for defending poor students." The photo showed a younger Mr. Reed standing in front of Maple High School. Same eyes, same gentle face. The principal explained that Mr. Reed had been a respected English teacher 15 years ago. He lost his job after defending a group of underprivileged students who were unfairly accused of cheating. When the administration refused to listen, he took the blame himself to protect them. Since then, he had chosen to stay in the same school, not as a teacher, but as a janitor, so he could keep helping quietly. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. He whispered, "So he never left?" The principal nodded. He never stopped caring. The next week, Ethan organized something the school had never seen before. He called it the Hidden Heroes Assembly. With help from a few friends and one supportive teacher, he gathered students in the auditorium. When Mr. Reed returned, Ethan led him inside. The crowd stood up, clapping. The old man looked confused. On the big screen, Ethan played a slideshow of pictures, the clean hallways, the smiling cafeteria staff, the notes of encouragement, the lunch donations. Then Ethan took the microphone. He said, "We give awards to those who teach in classrooms, but today we honor the man who taught us kindness without saying a word." Tears rolled down Mr. Reed's face. For the first time, the entire school saw the man behind the mop. He walked to the stage slowly and said, "I didn't do anything special. I just believe that small acts still matter. Respect is not earned by title. It's earned by how you treat people." The auditorium went silent. Even the teachers stood with tears in their eyes. That day, a janitor became a teacher once more. After the assembly, Ethan found Mr. Reed by the entrance polishing the nameplate on the door. "Why do you still clean after all this?" Ethan asked. Mr. Reed smiled and said, Because kindness isn't a one-time act, son. It's a habit. Years later, when Ethan graduated from college, he returned to Maple High. The janitor's cart was still parked by the same corner, but Mr. Reed was gone. The new janitor said he had retired quietly, leaving a note in his locker. It read, "If you ever wonder whether goodness matters, look around. Someone's life got better today because you cared." Ethan framed that note and hung it in his office where he worked as a teacher. Every time a student struggled, he remembered the man who taught him that respect is not about who you are, but about what you give. The story of Mr. Reed became part of the school's legacy. People still spoke of the janitor who once changed their hearts. The hallway still smelled of chalk and rain, and in every shining floor, you could almost see his reflection smiling quietly, reminding everyone that kindness never retires.